Well, people booing Fox News host Laura Ingraham is certainly music to my ears, and I would expect it if she was at like a Bruce Springsteen concert or something. But those boos, they're from the crowd at the ultra conservative Turning Point USA event that unfortunately happened last night. And it wasn't the only jaw dropping moment while she was up there on stage. And it should be no shock at this point that the topic at hand was Jeffrey Epstein. And I got to tell you, too, I've got another major development on that same Epstein topic that the mainstream media seems to be avoiding as of now, but I'm not. Let's dive headfirst into all of it, and I invite you to stick around if you want to be in the know and on the right side of history. Otherwise, go ahead and keep your head shoved wherever you've got it. And everyone else, I would encourage you to hit subscribe to Really American Media. I mean, seriously, support our efforts here. Now, having said all of that, I would not blame you if you were on Epstein overload this week. I know one person who certainly wants us all to stop talking about it.
Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein? This guy's been talked about for years.
Well, that seems like a guilty conscience talking, and it's a tad hypocritical to tell us all to move on from this story, coming from the guy that can't stop talking about an election that was settled, I don't know, like 4 or 5 years ago. But thanks to Trump's DOJ, this story is back to being current events after Legally Blonde Pam Bondi announced this week there's nothing to see here.
The DOJ issued an undated and unsigned memo confirming Epstein died by suicide and that he did not have a client list to traffic underage girls.
Which brings us to Laura Ingraham at Turning Point USA last night, as she decided to do a little crowd work with the audience, and I don't think it went as she was hoping it might.
How many of you are satisfied? You can clap. Satisfied with the results of the Epstein investigation? Clap. Okay, I told you to clap. You guys aren't listening. I'm not going to grade you on a curve. So I was going to get to that. How many of you are not satisfied with the results of the investigation?
Yeah, as they say, a picture may paint 1,000 words, but those boos and cheers, they paint the entire story. Even the MAGA sheep are not buying what Trump is selling, which is similar to every other product Trump has ever tried to sell. Nobody wants to buy it. But then Ingram continued, and I got to tell you, she said something that really should be front page news everywhere, as she actually gave away the entire Fox News propaganda playbook with this little admission.
I don't know what to believe on that. I've been around Washington long enough to know a lot of these infighting stories. A lot of them are overblown, and all these people are friends of mine. So I want to get the family back together because Lord knows we have enough on the outside coming at us.
I mean, just wow, that needs to be dissected. Laura Ingraham, who has described herself as a journalist, yet she said that she doesn't know who to believe. These people are all friends, and she just wants to get the family back together again. And I just heard Walter Cronkite roll over in his grave. All right, seriously, any legitimate journalist that admits that I don't know who to believe, and the subject of the story are friends of theirs, and that they have an agenda to get them all back together, they should never be covering a story like that. You recuse yourself. But because Fox is anything but news, she'll just keep shoveling her BS propaganda down their throats night after night, laced with her own agenda. She just admitted to it. It's disgusting. Then she tries to take some sort of moral high ground by saying this.
But if crimes were committed against children, and we know who was committing crimes against children, those people have to rot in jail.
Oh, good. Well, at least we all agree that Trump should be in jail. AOC chimed in today with a great tweet saying, wow, who would have thought that electing a rapist would have complicated the release of the Epstein files? Touche, AOC. But there's a new development in the story that needs some more media attention. So stick with me and let's do that. Wired was the first to report yesterday that there's something fishy about the prison surveillance video that was released this week.
On Monday, the DOJ released this video of Epstein's federal jail cell the night the disgraced financier died. But the time code jumps just before midnight. Attorney General Pam Bondi explaining.
And what we learned from Bureau of Prisons was every night the video is reset, and every night should have the same minute missing.
Yeah, the missing minute issue is certainly a tad suspicious, but it goes much deeper than that. Wired reported that the video that was released to us all and was labeled as raw video, which would mean it was unedited and came directly from the security system at the prison, was in fact edited and is not the original footage. Wired writes that, quote, metadata embedded in the video and analyzed by Wired and independent video forensic experts shows that rather than being a direct export from the prison surveillance system, the footage was modified, likely using the professional editing tool Adobe Premiere Pro. The file appears to have been assembled from at least 2 source clips, saved multiple times, exported, and then uploaded to the DOJ website where it was presented as raw footage. They go on to say, quote, the metadata indicates the file was saved at least 4 times over a 23-minute span, end quote. Now, let me just tell you, as somebody who edits video for a living, I can tell you there's only one reason to save your work 4 times in 20 minutes. It's because you've been doing edits to the video and you don't want to lose them. I don't know why else you would do that. And there's no reason to be editing raw video in the first place. That video, should have been exported as is with 0 edits. And if for any odd reason an edit was required, you would disclose that up front. Wired asked a professor at UC Berkeley, whose research focuses on digital forensics and misinformation, if this would be acceptable to present in court as evidence. And he said, quote, if a lawyer brought me this file and asked if it was suitable for court, I'd say no. Go back to the source, do it right. Do a direct export from the original system, no monkey business, end quote. And that sums it up. There's monkey business going on here, and this story is far from over. So stay tuned here for more. Like this story, comment below, and let's keep the pressure on this. In other words, get vocal. From the Vocal Minority with Nick and Steve podcast, available everywhere, I'm Steve Harness for Really American Media.